Welcome to this iplicit tutorial on creating and processing a batch payment. Batch payments are a great way of selecting multiple purchase invoices and allocating these transactions, as well as creating a file to send to the bank. To create a batch payment, select New in the Batch Payment Finder. The bank account may be set already, but you can choose the required account if you have multiple options. You can also change the payment template for domestic and foreign payments. You will then need to add a description. In this example, we will be doing a batch payment for purchase invoices up to the 30th of April. Changing the date up to the 30th of April, as shown, will then provide all the purchase invoices documents related to this category when you select the Allocations tab. On the right of this page, you can find the toggle switch, which you can use to change what you want to appear, such as the age creditors and the different allocations. Going to the age creditors, you will see how you're able to select columns, rows, and individual groups. You will see how the purchase invoices available will change according to what has been highlighted in the age creditors. An invoice can't be allocated to a payment if it has been put into dispute. You will be required to resolve the dispute for the invoice in order to allocate it to a batch payment. We will go ahead and do that now. To resolve a dispute, select the three dots at the top of the page. After resolving the dispute, if you head back to the batch payment and select Refresh, you will see the invoice is no longer highlighted in grey, and its note has been filled. It can now be selected and allocated to the batch payment. Another occasion where an invoice can't be allocated is shown here with the red cross. The supplier in this case is missing his bank account and sort code, and he will need to change this in order to allocate the invoice. If we go back to the batch payment editor, you can change which purchase invoices will be shown in the age creditors. You are able to change the due date, and if you have a due date into the future, you can pay invoices in advance. Or you can change the control account. In this case, we will switch the trade creditors for the staff expenses. It is possible to have more than one batch payment running in operation from the same bank. Then go back to the allocations. Refreshing the page will enable you to see a change to the age creditors, and what is available to be allocated for payment due to the edits you have made, such as the staff expenses. Leaving the control account blank will increase the purchase invoices available. Going back to the allocations and refreshing, you now see that invoices from before are available, as well as the staff expenses for this batch payment. We will now go ahead and allocate a range of purchase invoices. You can double click on an invoice, highlight an invoice and select Allocate, as well as select the tick box on the left in order to allocate the required invoices in full. You can also part pay an invoice by inputting what you want to pay, and the outstanding will be shown with the part payment highlighted in red and not green. Now we have completed our allocations, we can save this batch payment as a draft. You can edit and save a draft as many times as you would like, and you can also abandon the drafted batch payment. Beneath Abandon, you have a Payment tab. Selecting the Payment tab will give you a breakdown of the various payments within each batch. Now you have your draft and you have allocated all the invoices you wish to pay, you can go ahead and select Submit. Go back into the Batch Payments Finder, and if a workflow has been set up, you will see the status of your batch payment has changed pending authorization. Clicking into the batch payment, you can see the current user does not have the ability to authorize. In this case, a manager will be required for the next stage. We will log in as a new user, Joe Bloggs, who is one of the managers with the ability to approve or reject, as you will see when you go back into the same batch payment. If the manager is happy, they can go ahead and approve. Going back to the Finder and refreshing, you will see a change in the status showing that authorization has been successful. At this stage, you can still amend or abandon the batch payment, but don't do this if you have sent the details to the bank already. The next stage is to go ahead and process the batch payment. Selecting Process will produce a file associated with the bank and payment, for example, a specific format related to NatWest for fast payments. You can also reprocess a batch payment by selecting the three dots. For example, your file may have been rejected by the bank as the payment is in the past. You can download these files for your own records, upload it to the bank website, and when this is completed, we can post it to the general ledger. You can now see that a stamp has appeared across the batch payment. At the top of the page, you can also select the icon for Analytics, which can produce a series of reports, such as a summary of the batch payment. If we go back to the batch payment, select the Payment tab, and enter an individual payment, you are able to print, send, as well as preview a remittance for the payment that has been made. You will be provided with an email for the remittance as well as an attachment, which you can preview before sending. Thank you for watching this iplicit tutorial. For more help videos and tutorials, please visit iplicit.com.